Hello, everyone. This is Robert, one of the librarians at the Lindenhurst Memorial Library, and I'm here to show you a couple of crafts that I made kits for, the do-it-yourself cat and dog toys for National Pet Parent Day. I'll start with a cat toy. What I did here was I got our supplies out. You start with a piece of foam paper, cut in half paper towel roll. I also put in a little bag of treats. I got my treats right here, and that's what we're going to put in there. And then you're going to use the scissors just to cut to shape for the toilet paper, the paper towel roll, and as well as glue it on with a glue gun. You'll need a glue gun. So what we're going to start with is we're going to fold one of the ends in by pushing the edges down in the middle, kind of like making little peaks at the end, just so it stays closed. It doesn't have to be super tight or secure at the moment. Just push it in. It'll have like little cat ears. And then we're going to put the treats in the open tube end. Just so that there's something to rattle in there for the treat for the cat. And then we're going to close that end the same way we closed the other end, just by pushing the edges in. Doesn't have to be too secure, especially if you want the cat to be able to get the treats inside, so they can bust it open. So now we're going to wrap the paper towel roll with the foam paper. This is where the scissors will come in. You'll probably want to cut it to size so it's just easier to handle, just so it's kind of one go when you glue it on. So you cut off the excess, and it should fit perfectly wrapping around. And then you're going to take the glue gun to secure the foam paper onto the paper towel roll. You really don't need too much. I just wanted to get it sitting there secure. So I have the one edge down. Make sure you hold it down so the glue dries. And then I get the other edge right at the seam because it closes perfectly together. And get rid of that excess glue. It's always a problem with hot glue. Make sure it's secure. And then we're going to glue the edges of the toy. Pretty simple. You just pretty much lay the glue down on the paper towel roll that's folded over on one end, and then you just push the foam paper down. And like I said before, you can choose to glue it completely shut with the foam paper, but if you want a little opening for the cat to kind of like be able to get the treats, or for you to kind of like open it, bust it open or something eventually, you can leave it a little bit open. And glue the other side as well. Push it down. Make sure it's secure. Make sure the glue dries. It dries pretty quickly. And that is pretty much the toy. That's really all the work that goes into it. You can do a variety of things with it as well. On top of this, you can decorate it. You can glue other things on it. I know that there's like sprays, catnip sprays that you can spray on it to attract the cat. Maybe your cat isn't interested in it, but a catnip spray, well, you can just douse it in it and it'll attract the cat probably. I just have a marker here. Just draw a little picture on there. Maybe my cat will notice it. Maybe yours doesn't care about pictures. It's not necessarily visually appealing, but whatever. It's fun for me. Little another cat or mouse, whatever you want to make of it. And there you go. That's the do-it-yourself cat treat toy. So now we're going to do the do-it-yourself dog toy. It's going to be kind of like a tug toy. It'll be almost like a rope thing with a tennis ball. You're going to have old shirt to cut up, a tennis ball, and scissors, of course, to cut the shirt. And we're going to start by cutting under the sleeve of the shirt, as I have here. You just want to kind of cut the shirt in half right at that mark. Always be careful with scissors, especially if you can end up cutting yourself or something else that you don't want to cut. So you have that excess top, and then you have the other half, the bottom half of the shirt right here. And then what we're going to do is cut this in half again. So I cut it in half so that there's two strips. Doesn't have to be perfect. So now we have these two little loops on the bottom of the shirt, and we're just going to cut open one side. Doesn't really matter where. So now we're going to have a long strip with one, and then we're going to do the same thing to the other one. Just get those long strips, two long strips. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to lay out these long strips like a cross or a T or an X. So they're even on all sides, or as close to even as possible. And then take that tennis ball and put it right in the middle. And what we're going to do is we're going to enclose the tennis ball in the center and kind of droop those strips over the tennis ball as such. I'll show you more. And then we're going to take, you can take some of the excess shirt and just kind of get like a little strip just to knot the tennis ball. You can use pretty much anything that's safe for the animal, but I might as well just use the material we have. So I use just a little strip of the shirt that we didn't use, and knot the bottom so that the tennis ball stays in the same place. You want to make sure that's as secure as possible, because the ball is probably the main thing that the animal is going to go for. And you don't want it coming undone. So now that we have the tennis ball wrapped up here, we're going to cut each of these, the strips that are dangling from it, into 3 separate strips. So there's 4 to begin with, and then we're going to cut each of those 4 into 3 strips, so 2 cuts up. And what we're going to do is we're going to end up braiding each of these strips. Cut as close to the top as possible, just so you have enough to make a nice long braid. I'm not the best braider, so bear with me. I actually had to learn how to do this before. You just take one, kind of go over with the side pieces and bring them in the middle, alternating. Left over middle, right over middle, left over middle, right over middle. And just make sure it's nice and tight. This is probably the most time-consuming part of the whole craft. And you just keep it going until you have a little bit at the end that you'll be able to knot and tie off with two of the strips. So that's tied off. Make sure it's tight so it doesn't come undone. And that's one of the braids out of the 4 that we have to do. You cut off a little bit of the excess shirt if you have any. And then you just repeat the same process with the others. And there you have it. It's a do-it-yourself dog craft toy. Nice little rope toy with a ball in it so the dog can kind of tug a war with you. And I hope everyone enjoys playing with their fur babies.